This is from the New Republic. Pathetic. DeSantis campaign planted that bizarre anti-LGBTQ ad in a fan account. DeSantis campaign made the strange ad but pretended it didn't. So what is this all about? So basically they made this really, really bigoted ad here. And let's see if we can actually, let's see. I think we can actually show this. This is the ad. Let's go ahead and play it.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
If Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her.
Let's just kind of go through this a little bit, okay? Let's go through this a little bit. So we got Trump saying, I'll do everything to protect LGBTQ people. If you remember, if I remember right, the context in which Trump said that was that it was protecting LGBTQ people from Islamic terrorists, because at that time there was videos of like ISIS people basically executing gay and trans people. This is like 2016, right? So that's where that came from. But if you remember, the minute Trump became actual president, he kind of reversed on that, did like a full 180 when it came to like trans rights, specifically trans rights, you know, like basically removed all the trans people from the military and said that you couldn't get your HRT from the VA anymore, stuff like that. So Trump doesn't have a very good record when it comes to LGBTQ rights at all. Not very much, especially lately. Lately, you know, since he's kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit, and with the groomer oppression and all that. So that's kind of bullshit there. A little bit of just a little misleading here.
In my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
But Caitlyn Jenner.
I mean, if there's the other thing, kind of Trump hanging out with Caitlyn Jenner, yeah, so. Caitlyn Jenner is a conservative. Caitlyn Jenner ran as a Republican for the governorship of California. You know, that's the thing that conservatives don't really understand. They buy into identity politics even more than like liberals and leftists, in my opinion. Somebody like they basically think anyone that's not us is the other side. That's a fallacy there, called Odinism. The idea that anyone that is your enemy, they're like all the same. You know, so anyone who disagrees with you is all the same. They all believe the same things, and it's like, no, people can disagree with you and have wildly different opinions and beliefs from each other as well. And just because you're a trans person doesn't mean you're automatically any ideology whatsoever. There are plenty of trans people that are highly conservative. Caitlyn Jenner is one of them. Blair White's another one, for example. So there are plenty of gay people who are highly conservative too. Fucking Milo Yiannopoulos, extremely conservative. There's a whole bunch of them. Shit, there's like an organization called the Log Cabin Republicans who are dyed-in-the-wool GOP kind of Republican small business and small business loving small government and lower tax type people. Right. So there's no reason to believe whatsoever that just because your sexual orientation is a certain way, then that dictates the rest of your political beliefs. That's not true at all. But, your average Republican who will be swayed by an ad like this doesn't understand any of that shit. As far as they're concerned, if you're not exactly like their specific brand of conservative, then you might as well just be walking around wearing a fucking, Che Guevara t-shirt.
Were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses.
That is correct.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Make America great again.
Okay. That was stupid. That was dumb. The whole psych. That was the kind of shit that like a 12-year-old would think of. And then what's with this shit? Like, no. Like, what is this? What, I mean, did teenagers make this shit? And then they showed this guy. What does this guy have to do with anything? This is like the Uber Chad meme guy. Like he's got this giant, super buff dude with a giant chin who just laughs at everybody. Like, are they trying to say this is Ron DeSantis? Like, this guy is fucking Ron DeSantis? Like, I don't know if you've ever heard Ron DeSantis actually talk, but Ron DeSantis is a fucking worm. Like, that's what he is. He's not a worm. He's a chump. That's the best way to describe Ron DeSantis. Chump. He's the big chunky guy that, like, when you go and you hang out in the group, he's the big chunky guy that, like, tries to be funny, but is, like, just not funny and will do stupid shit to get people to laugh at him because that's the only way he knows how to make friends. And ends up fucking himself up, and then everybody doesn't really like him anyway, but maybe they let him hang around because he buys beer for them or something. Like, that's Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is like the wannabe class clown who just doesn't actually have any talent for, like, he's just not witty, and he doesn't actually have any talent, and he'll do shit, really dumb stuff, eat bugs, or, like, jump off of a building head first into, like, a 2 stories to try to, like, into a swimming pool and then, like, miss and fuck himself up in the bushes or something like that on purpose because he thinks that makes the other kids like him, and it doesn't. They just laugh at his ass. That's Ron DeSantis. No, seriously, I'm not even kidding though. There is something wrong. He's got some kind of developmental kind of, like, personality disorder that's either like a serial killer, like maybe if he would have gone down a different path in life, he might have ended up murdering prostitutes and, like, drying their, bodies out so that he can make a skin suit out of their skin or something. Definitely he was the kind of kid who would try to, like, strangle cats and, like, hang them up behind the shed and shit when he was, like, a child. That was definitely fucking Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is the kind of guy that, like, he'd be walking down the street and there'd be a snake and he'd catch it and, like, fucking skin it and stuff and wear its skin as a headband or whatever when he was, like, 12. Like, weird, creepy shit like that. That's the vibe I get from Ron DeSantis, for sure. So, I don't know where this Giga Chad shit is coming from, because he's the most farthest person away from the Giga Chad ever. Was that from American Psycho? Wait a second. Okay, first off, I don't know why this is something to be happy about. I guess if you're marketing to Nazis, it is. And then this guy, like, that's from American Psycho, right? I mean, are they trying to say that Ron DeSantis is a psycho? Are they happy about that? So I'm not the only one. So even the guy that made this ad is getting the creepy fucking serial killer vibes from Ron DeSantis. Right? Am I wrong here? I mean, what the fuck? Okay. Alright. DeSantis shuts down Florida schools Dragon Donuts event featuring drag queen Mama Ashley Rose. The governor shouldn't have that power to begin with. Why? How exactly? I would like to read into this and see what's going on with it. Because the governor should not have control over a school event. That seems like that would be something that would come from the principal of the school. Maybe the school board of the school, but more likely the principal should be the one saying if that event happens or not. So, how did Ron DeSantis shut this down? That seems a little fishy to me. I'll have to investigate that further. Bathroom bill, can't forget that. Not allowed to use a bathroom in Florida, and you can only use the ones that Ron DeSantis and his friends say you're allowed to use, which is bullshit. Pride event in St. Cloud canceled after DeSantis signs Protection of Children Act into law. Yeah, that's also, I mean, I don't see why these are things to be proud of. These are basically authoritarian measures. So the only people who would be proud of them are authoritarians. I mean, am I wrong here, folks? It kind of sounds like Ron DeSantis is appealing to Nazis. Is he not? Like, no war is more dangerous for White House than Ron DeSantis. Okay. I don't know what that headline is from. That sounds like that's an opinion piece. I like how it's showing, like, I think that was a snippet of supposed to be Alexander the Great from that movie that came out a little while ago starring fucking, what's his name? Where was it? It showed Alexander the Great here for a second. I don't know, I'm not going to worry about it.
I cannot think.
NBC slammed his freak show after host Chris Hayes melts down defending gender surgery for children. Who would do that? This headline is like the most biased fucking thing. Like, who slammed MSNBC? Right? Who exactly? Like, that sounds like some shit you would get on fucking, like, the Daily Stormer. Right? Doesn't it? That's what this sounds like. This sounds like a Daily Caller or something like that.
Think of anything more horrifying.
It really has shut down.
Unstoppable my ass. So you keep in mind here that Ron DeSantis' campaign is basically imploding at this point. So to see this is a little kind of ridiculous. Like, we're like, DeSantis seems unstoppable, when in real life it seems like he can't even get his shit started. and they're showing, and this is the video, this is the clip of him doing that really weird fucking laugh. Did you ever see it? We showed it like when they did this like 3 weeks ago. He's at some kind of event and he just does this really strange, unnatural laugh. You know what the laugh sounds like to me? When Ron DeSantis laughs, it sounds like when Spock tries to laugh. Like, do you guys watch Star Trek? Like Strange New Worlds, the new Star Trek show, which is like the best Star Trek made in the last 30 years. And Spock is on there and he's like trying to act human, tries to laugh and it's all awkward and shit. Like, that's what, like, Ron DeSantis is like a fucking Vulcan, except without the logic and intelligence. He's like a Vulcan, but if Vulcans were like 15-year-old boys who want to be all edgy and shit and want their friends to think that they're like smart. Right? When in real life they're just moronic kids. Like, that's what Ron DeSantis is to me.
Really has shut down drag.
Just produced some of the harshest, most draconian laws that literally threaten trans existence.
I've noticed, like...
Congratulations, Ron DeSantis. Mission accomplished. You win.
So they're showing... Alright, so those guys were from the Young Turks. Like, that was... Cenk, and then the other guy from the Minority Report there. I guess they're trying to say that the libs are crying now over Ron DeSantis. I guess that's what that's supposed to be. You notice what I'm not seeing here are any policy proposals of any kind. All it is sort of like anti-gay stuff, anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans stuff, specifically anti-trans stuff. That's it. That's this entire ad. Where's the actual proposals? How is Ron DeSantis going to make my life better? Not seeing any of that here. Wait. This governor does not care. Why is that a good thing? That kind of sounds like the opposite of what you want people to think. I mean, that's great if you hate people and you want him to hurt the people you hate. But think about if you're trying to make this person win the presidency, right? Like, why should I vote for someone who doesn't care? Think about that. You know, because I understand. See, that's the thing. Racists and fascists are fucking idiots. And they don't think about this stuff. They don't understand. Whoever made this video, which I can guarantee you this video was made by one of Ron DeSantis' staffers, like in secret. This ain't no fan video. One of his staffers made this fucking video and then shared it and then, like, liked it from his official account or whatever, to try to, like, because they're trying to get the 4chan people on board. That's what their plan is, right? Like, they don't understand that the normies out there are the ones who actually elect the president. See, they think that they're the ones that, like these people, the far right-wing Nick Fuentes types, right? The people like him, Wojak fucking looking basement dwellers who are all racist and have never gotten laid. They think that they, like, somehow memed Donald Trump into the presidency. I'm not even kidding. They think they got Trump elected. The power of their memes were so great that it somehow got Trump elected. And that's not true at all. Normies elect the president. That is to say, normal, ordinary people go out and vote for shit that they think they want, and they think that politician is going to help them with. That's how the president gets elected, right? So there's not enough transphobes out there to elect Ron DeSantis as president. He's going to have to appeal to the normal, ordinary people who have jobs, who are concerned about things like the economy and global climate change and violence in schools, specifically, mass shootings and stuff like that. Like, he's going to have to appeal to those people, because if all you have is that I hate trans people, well, that ain't no fucking campaign at all. Who's going to vote for that shit? It's okay, yeah, that's great. Tell me what you're going to do about jobs, right? Like, tell me what you're going to do about the environment. Tell me what you're going to do about North Korea. Tell me what you're going to do about, I'll even use some conservative issues. Immigration. What are you going to do about that? You know what Ron DeSantis is, you know what Ron DeSantis' fucking solution to immigration is? Put them all on a bus and send them to fucking Martha's Vineyard. That's his solution. It's like, no, do something about it. What are you going to do about it, right? Are you going to help the people that are coming over here looking for work? Are you going to make it easier for them so they don't die in the desert? So that they don't get sent back to get murdered by drug cartels or whatever? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to build a giant stupid fucking wall, try to keep them out when they're just going to keep coming anyway? Or are you going to do something else? Are you going to try to do a long-term solution? Which, that's something that the Democrats aren't doing either. The long-term solution. The thing that will actually help stop immigration. Helping to better the economies of the countries for which the people are coming from. If people have jobs in South America, if they have jobs there, right? If they have justice there, if they aren't being persecuted by drug cartels or dictatorships, and are actually able to make a living and raise their families there, then they'll have no reason to come to the United States. That's the entire reason why these people come to the United States, because this is where the money is. This is where the jobs are at. This is where they can go to actually make a living for themselves. And if it was the other way around, we'd all be going there too. If there were no jobs here, and there were jobs in Guatemala, then we'd be going to Guatemala. If you were like a college graduate here, and the only job you could get was for $7 an hour, or if you could go to Colombia and work in a car wash and make $30 an hour, where are you going? Which one of those are you going to take? You'd be jumping down south of the border and washing cars. That's what you'd be doing, okay? Don't tell me you wouldn't, because you would. Well, that's the situation that these people have. It's like they can either stay in the country where they're from, where all their roots are at, where all their family and friends are at. They can stay there and basically live a shitty life where they're on the verge of starvation and constantly having to look out for fucking, danger, getting shot or kidnapped or whatever. Or they could come to the United States, leave everybody that they love, right? Leave their entire country, their entire culture, whatever, come to the United States and actually be able to make a living, and then send money home so that the people that are at home can actually survive. That's what's going on there. What's Ron DeSantis? What's your fucking solution for that, Ron DeSantis, right? Because putting them all on a fucking plane and dropping them off in front of Kamala Harris's house is not a goddamn solution. Why would you vote for this? Why would you vote for this guy? If this is what, this governor does not care, what the fuck does he care about? That's what I'm getting from this ad here, folks. I mean, the imagery is like negative. What is that fucking movie? That Alexander the Great movie? Val Kilmer. That's what it was. Val Kilmer as let's see. Oh, the movie was called Alexander. Okay. That's what it was. I think I saw it when it came out 20 years ago. Right? Why is it showing Alexander the Great and like fucking the serial killer from American Psycho? And then Ron DeSantis as is he supposed to be a vampire here? Is he supposed to be a crocodile? What is this shit? And then like bodybuilders. Why was there this giant bodybuilder here? I mean, like this right here. Like that. Like, what are they trying to say here? I thought this was an anti-gay ad. Why does it have like so many pictures of huge, bulging, oily men who are like butt naked, flexing their giant like muscles and shit? Big muscles, hard muscles. Like seriously, why is this anti-gay ad so homoerotic? I don't understand this shit. This ad is fucking confusing as fuck. Let's turn this off for now. This ad is very confusing. I'm glad that I took the time to actually hunt that down so that we could watch it, because that doesn't make no fucking sense. I think the point stands. What does that ad actually say? Like, there's nothing positive out of that. The only reason you would think that anything positive from that at all is that if you really just, the only thing you cared about was hating gay people, hating trans people. And if that was your only issue, the only issue that you were going to vote on is like, who's going to fuck up the trans people and the gay people more? Then I could see, okay, well then this ad's for you. But who votes just on that? I mean, not most people. That's what they ran on in 2022 during the midterms, and the Republicans got stomped. They got crushed during those midterms. Like, bad. I mean, they almost didn't even take the fucking House. They didn't take the Senate. Right? They almost didn't take the House. They almost weren't able to elect a fucking Speaker of the fucking House. And every special little election since then, they're getting crushed over and over and over because people don't give a fuck about this stuff, right? It's not even, I will not even say that the mainstream America is accepting of LGBTQ people, because that's not true. That's not true at all, right? And that I noticed that a lot of sort of liberal news outlets are trying to spin it like that, saying that, well, people, it's acceptable to be gay now. No, it's not. It's not. There's still very, very much a lot of bigotry towards LGBTQ people out there, even from the liberal progressive side. There's still a lot. I think it's more of just people don't give a shit about it. We've been hearing about this, like, especially when it comes to trans issues, we've been hearing about that just constantly for like, what's it been, 5 years now? Minimum, at least since 2017. The trans issues have taken the forefront. And we've just been hearing about them over and over and over about, oh, the trans kids woke, blah, blah, blah. Every time a goddamn movie comes out, the conservatives lose their fucking minds over it. Case in point, Barbie. I'm going to be talking about that later. Right? Ben Shapiro's fucking 42-minute rant on the fucking Barbie movie. It's like, every time but it's not just movies. It's like, anytime anything comes out now. Anytime there's like a commercial that just rubs these people the wrong way or whatever, they lose their minds. Woke this, woke fucking that. It's the stupidest shit. It's so fucking, who the fuck cares? Who cares? And I think that's what people are thinking when it comes to just this especially when it comes to LGBTQ rights, especially trans rights. People are sick and tired of just hearing about it. It's like, because no one gives a fuck in the first place. Because it's so stupid. It's so stupid because there's no reason to have laws banning these things, right? No one is forcing anyone to go to a drag queen storytime hour. If you don't want to take your kid to see drag queens, then just don't take them. Problem solved. It's not like the schools are like forcing your kid to go to assemblies where drag queens are coming out and chopping off their nuts with garden shears and shit like that. No, it's people bring their kids to these things because they're fun. They're fun because drag queens are fun. Because it's like music and like jokes and shit like that, you know? You ever been to a burlesque show? You know, burlesque shows are fun. And so what? So it just happens to be like, you know, someone who's a drag queen. Well, so fucking what? They're not going to like rape your kid right there in front of you. Like, this is stupid. You know, the conservatives make it sound like that, you know, they're just going to like tie you down and like, you know, sexually assault your child right before your very eyes, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it and all this other shit. They're going to force your kid to turn trans. And it's like, no, that doesn't work like that. You can't brainwash a child just by going to a drag show. It's like the stupidest shit. The stupidest fucking shit ever. And he's leaned so hard into stuff, but what does he have to offer besides hate and bigotry? Absolutely fucking nothing. Maybe that's why his campaign is fucking collapsing. Maybe this is why he has to relaunch his shit again for like the third time. Maybe this is why he's not capturing more. Like, I think Ron DeSantis is at like 20% when it comes to the GOP candidates, and he's remained at 20% for like the last like fucking 6 months. He's never gotten over it because even the Republicans don't really give a shit about this crap either.